Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Here I am back again with another tutorial on configuring the doas on a Linux. Doas is yet another alternative for the sudo, which is a lightweight and the less in size compared to the sudo. It provides the feature same as a sudo, but comparing to the sudo, it does not provide all the functionalities that sudo does for us. You might be wondering to know why to use the doas when sudo is here. Well, that's the matter of the choice whether you want to use the doas or a sudo. If you want to go with a lots of configuration option and the flexibility, then you can go with the sudo. Or if you want lightweight and a less feature, then you can go with doas. Without any further delay, let's see how we can configure the doas on a Linux. And if you have not installed the doas yet, then you can install it along with your package manager. So let's open up the terminal. And let's see how we can configure the doas.conf file. First of all, let's install the doas. apt install doas. And don't be confused, I am using the Debian-based distro on my Docker container. So now let's create the doas.conf file in its C directory. Here, as you can see, I have created the doas.conf file. So for configuring the doas.conf file, you have to properly manage the permission as well as the user and group as well as the owner of the file. Remember that for configuring the doas.conf file, the owner and the group of the doas.conf file must be the root, and the permission must be the readable only by the root. So we will be setting the permission and the owner at the end of the configuration. So let's open up the doas.conf file. Here, as you can see, the syntax for configuring the doas.conf file. So first we have to specify that whether to permit or deny, and then we have to specify the identity, and we have to specify the user we want to execute the command with, and we can specify the command along with the respective arguments. So I messed up the cmd here. So let's see how we can configure the doas to run the Python 3 binary as a root user on the system. So here I have the user. Let me show you the user. //passwd grep-i/bin/bash. Here I have the non-privileged user, user1 and user2, and I want to execute the Python 3 binary from the user1 as a root on the system. So let's open up the doas.conf file, and we can do that like this: permit no pass to user1 as root, cmd is equal to /user/bin/python3. So now let's exit and so user1. So let's execute the command first let's check the doas configuration file //doas.conf. So if you have noticed that I was talking about the permission of the file, so remember that while configuring the doas.conf file, you must have to set the permission to that only readable by the root user. If you set something like this, then you can see that any user on the system can read the configuration file of the doas.conf file, where this may lead to the potential attack from the attacker. Then the attacker may try to gain the root access on the system using the binary that you have allowed to run without any password on the system. So let's see how we can run the doas. So for running the doas, you have to add the prefix doas along with the command doas/user/bin/python3. So as you can see, the Python 3 has been run as a root from the user1. So let's just verify this. Import os.system/bin/bash. Here, as you can see, we have spawned the root shell. Then it means that the Python 3 has been run as a root user on the system. So let's exit from this. And if you want to check for the privilege, then we can check it. As you can see, the user1 cannot run the sudo or any kinds of the commands with the root privilege on the system. User1 can only execute the Python 3 as a root on the system. So we can also configure the doas to deny the user 1 to run the other commands as root on the system also. So let's see how we can do that. Let's exit from here and let's go for the doas.conf file. And for disallowing the user to run a specific command as a root on the system, you can do something like this. You just need to replace the permit with the any on the configuration. So it's really easy. I just skipped it, and let's go for something like, what if you want to allow the group to execute the commands as a root without any password? So we can do something like this: permit no pass colon, and the group will be linux kick as a root, cmd is equal to /user /bin/wget. So let's see for the groups, cat /etc/group grep as I linux gig. So we have to add the group add linux kick g pass wd linux kick, and let's check for the group. As you can see, the group has been added with the gid 1003, and let's just add the user 1 to the linux kick group. So let's just do with the user 2 linux kick, and user 2 has been added to the group linux kick. So linux kick, sorry, so user 2, and let's just check for the etc/doas.conf. Here, as you can see, we are permitted to run the duplicate binary as a root because we are under the linux kick group. We can check this like this: groups, as you can see, we are under the linux kick group. Then we can execute the duplicate as a root. Do as duplicate. As you can see, while typing only the binary name, we are not permitted to run. What if we do something like this: /user /bin/duplicate, and as you can see, we are successfully able to run the doas, able to run a duplicate as a root on the host. So let's exit from this and let's see the another example of running as another user. So sometimes you may need to run the command as another user, not only the root anytime. So let's see how we can do that. Let's see an example. What if we want to run the specific command as a user 2 without any password? So we can do something like this: permit no pass user 1 as a user 2 to the cmd /tmp/bash. Okay, let's just name to the custom binary that will be okay. Let's give it the bash, and let's exit this and let's create a binary in the temp directory: cd/tmp .bash nanobash /bin/bash echo executed chmod plus s bash /bash. Now let's see that. So user 1 cat /etc/doas.conf. Here, as you can see, we are allowed to run the temp/bash as a user 2. So let me check this as a normal doas as a user 2 /temp/bash. As you can see, we are able to execute the binary as a user 2, which is located at the /temp/bash. We can also do something like this, something like changing the owner and the groups of the user to run only as user 2. And when you are done with configuring the doas.conf file, you have to set up the proper permission and the owner of the file. And remember that I have told you earlier that the owner and the groups of the file must be the root, and the permission must be set to the readable only by the root. So if it not set to the root, then you have to change the ownership to the root. So let's see the ownership and the permission of the file doas.conf. So here, as you can see, the owners are already set to the root, and we have to change the permission to only readable by the root. So by default, the permission is set to readable by the other and the groups and writable by the user. So we have to set to the readable only by the root user. So let's change the chmod 0400 to doas.conf. So let's check. So here, as you can see, the permission of the doas.conf file is only readable by the root user. So let's switch to the user one, and let's see we can read the configuration or not. As you can see, the permission is denied, and we have successfully set the permission of the doas.conf file. So don't forget to set up the proper permission and the user and owner of the doas.conf file. If not set properly, then there might be the potential risks of the getting root access by an attacker using the binary that you have allowed to run without any password on the system. This was the easy tutorial on configuring the doas on the system. So configuring the doas is really easy. So if you are confused on the any kinds of things on configuring the doas, then you can comment out on the comment section. So there are a lots of the wikis available on the internet. Also, you have the Gentoo wiki, you have the Arch wiki, you have the Ubuntu wiki, also you have the Debian wiki. So you can check out those wiki. I will be providing the links on the description, and you can go for the further on the configuring the doas. So this much for today.